Good morning, teachers, my seniors and colleagues. Today I'm going to discuss slide number 2, and the history given to me was 70-year male bone marrow aspiration for anemia. This is scanner view of my slide, which appears to be normal cellular for his age, with very minimal fat deposition here, and here. And we can appreciate few megakaryocytes. One is here, and some two are here. This is low power view of my slide, where we can see two megakaryocytes on left side, and rest of it appears to be normal hematopoietic tissue. Another low power view of my slide, where we can see all erythroid and myeloid series of cells which appear to be normoplastic, and we can appreciate some plasma cells here or here, some are here, and we can see this binucleate form. This is another low power view of my slide, where we can appreciate binucleate form in the center. This is oil immersion view of my slide. Here we can appreciate several plasma cells with basophilic cytoplasm and eccentric nuclei with perinuclear half. One is here, one is here, one is here, and one is here. One more is here. This is another oil immersion view to show binucleate form of plasma cell. Differential count of my bone marrow was as follows. Among 500 cells that I counted, plasma cells I could appreciate were 62, and there are 5 megakaryocytes, and my myeloid to erythroid ratio is 2.3:1, and plasma cell percentage is 12.4. With all above findings, my diagnosis of this slide is multiple myeloma. Coming to literature, multiple myeloma is a neoplastic proliferation of terminally differentiated B lymphocytes called plasma cells. It is broadly classified under the category of plasma cell dyscrasias, which are a group of disorders characterized by neoplastic proliferation of plasma cells and increased production of a single homogeneous immunoglobulin called paraprotein, monoclonal protein, or M protein. Other plasma cell dyscrasias are Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia, monoclonal gammopathy of uncertain significance, plasmacytoma, heavy chain disease, primary amyloidosis, OM syndrome, asymptomatic multiple myeloma, which includes smoldering multiple myeloma and indolent multiple myeloma. Coming to incidence, multiple myeloma is the second most prevalent blood cancer after non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, 1% of all cancers, and 2% of all cancer deaths. It appears to be happening between 5th to 7th decade of life, and average age appears to be 60 to 62 years. It is seen more in men than in women. African Americans and native Pacific Islanders have the highest reported incidences and Asians the lowest. Coming to etiology, there is no definitive etiology found so far, but risk factors appear to be exposure to pesticides, herbicides, ionizing radiation, hair dyes, chronic antigenic stimulation by chronic infections or other diseases. Coming to pathogenesis, myeloma cells originate from antigen-exposed post-germinal B cells with somatic hypermutation. They migrate to bone marrow and adhere to stromal cells. Interaction of multiple myeloma cells with bone marrow stromal cells results in secretion of interleukin-6, growth factors like insulin-like growth factor 1, anti-apoptic factors, vascular endothelial growth factor, fibroblastic growth factor, and chemonecrosis factor alpha. These factors promote multiple myeloma cells or tumor cells growth, their proliferation, their survival, drug resistance, migration, and also cause inhibition of osteogenesis and promotion of osteoclastogenesis and angiogenesis. Coming to diagnosis, International Myeloma Working Group revised diagnostic criteria for multiple myeloma, and it is as follows. Clonal bone marrow plasma cells more than or equal to 10%, or biopsy-proven bony or extramedullary plasmacytoma, and any one or more of the following myeloma-defining events, like end organ damage that can be attributed to underlying plasma cell proliferative disorder, like hypercalcemia with serum calcium of more than 11 mg per deciliter or 1 mg per deciliter of upper limit. Renal insufficiency, which is seen by creatinine clearance of less than 40 ml per minute or serum creatinine more than 2 mg per deciliter. Anemia with hemoglobin of less than 10 gram per deciliter, and one or more osteolytic lesions on X-ray, CT, or PET scan. Otherwise, any one or more of the following biomarkers of malignancy, like clonal bone marrow plasma cell percentage of more than 60%, involved or uninvolved serum free light chain ratio of more than or equal to 100. Coming to clinical features, due to bony lesions, patients can present with pain, tenderness, pathological fracture. Due to neurological dysfunctions, patients can present with sensory or motor loss or loss of bowel and bladder control. Due to renal involvement, which is due to hypercalcemia leading to nephrocalcinosis and renal failure. Patients can present with infections, which is due to abnormal hemoglobin or ineffective monoclonal antibodies. Pallor due to anemia. M protein in the blood causes hyperviscosity affecting central nervous system, retina, and cardiovascular system, causing symptoms like confusion, dizziness, headache, visual disturbances, and retinopathy. Bleeding tendencies are due to platelets getting coated by M protein, leading to their aggregation and bleeding. Coagulation abnormalities is due to M protein forming complexes with factor 5, factor 7, factor 8, factor 1, and factor 2, leading to coagulation cascade abnormality. Amyloidosis can cause neuropathies, macroglossia, and gastrointestinal symptoms. Lab findings in multiple myeloma are hemoglobin will be usually less than 10 gram per deciliter, and peripheral smear shows severe Role formation. Plasma cells or plasmacytoid lymphocytes can be seen. Leukoerythroblastic blood picture is also seen sometimes, and thrombocytosis, which is seen, is usually due to interleukin 6. In later stages, neutropenia due to replacement of hematopoietic islands by plasma cells. Plasma cells in peripheral smear more than or equal to 20% of differential leukocytic count is suggestive of plasma cell leukemia. Bone marrow aspiration may show hypocellular or normocellular. Myeloid and erythroid cells are normal with normoblastic reaction. Megakaryocytes are normal. Marrow infiltration by myeloma cells is always seen. Now, different type of multiple myeloma cells. Let's see. These are the myeloma cells, where bone marrow aspiration shows sheets of plasma cells with eccentric nuclei and basophilic cytoplasm, and the arrow is showing binucleate form. These two are binucleate forms. Rest all are plasma cells with eccentric nuclei and perinuclear half. This is plasmacytic type. Here we can see plasma cells which look like normal plasma cells having condensed nuclear chromatin and eccentric nuclei with basophilic cytoplasm. Here is one, and here is one, here is one. Rest all are erythroid and myeloid series cells. These are erythroid series cells and these are myeloid series cells. This is immature type of multiple myeloma, where bone marrow aspiration shows immature plasma cells showing open nuclear chromatin with prominent nucleoli. Cytoplasm is basophilic. See, this is the nucleoli. We can appreciate the nuclei very clearly. Here, here, and here. So these are immature type with open chromatin and nucleoli. This is plasmablastic type. Here we see plasma cells showing reticular nuclear chromatin and 1 to 2 prominent nuclei. In most of the cells, nucleus is central and cells appear blastoid. One is here, one is here. This is intermediate cell type of multiple myeloma. Here myeloma cells depict nuclear maturation, which is between plasma cells and plasmablasts. This is pleomorphic type of multiple myeloma, where neoplastic plasma cells show moderate to marked degree of pleomorphism with many cells showing bizarre shapes. They all look of different shapes. Coming to role of immunohistochemistry in diagnosis of multiple myeloma. Abnormal plasma cells are positive for CD38, CD138, and intracytoplasmic immunoglobulins. CD56 is expressed in 70 to 80% of cases and is associated with poor prognosis. CD20 and cyclidine D1 positive cases have better prognosis. Myeloma cells are negative for CD19, CD20, CD45, CD27, and CD22, which are seen on normal plasma cells. Monoclonality can be demonstrated by using anti-kappa and anti-lambda markers. Staging of multiple myeloma. Stage 1, where hemoglobin has to be more than 10 gram per deciliter, serum calcium of less than 12 mg per deciliter, and X-ray shows normal bones or solitary plasmacytoma. Immunoglobulin G has to be less than 5 gram per deciliter, and immunoglobulin A has to be less than 3 gram per deciliter. Bence-Jones protein of less than 4 gram per 24 hour, and myeloma cells will be less than 0.6 to 10 raised to 12 per meter square. Stage 2 is in between stage 1 and stage 3, and myeloma cells here will be 0.6 to 1.2 into 10 raised to the power of 12 per meter square. In stage 3, hemoglobin will be less than 8 gram per deciliter and serum calcium of more than 12 mg per deciliter. And X-rays may show multiple bony lytic lesions. Immunoglobulin G has to be more than 7 gram per deciliter. Immunoglobulin A has to be more than 5 gram per deciliter, and Bence-Jones protein of more than 12 gram per 24 hours. Myeloma cells are more than 1.2 cells into 10 raised to 12 per meter square. Prognosis or prognostic factors. Plasmablastic type has worst prognosis compared to plasmacytic variants. High serum creatinine, which indicates renal involvement, has worst prognostic indicator. Circulating plasma cells more than 10 per 50,000 mononuclear cells in blood is also associated with poor prognosis. Coming to management of multiple myeloma, despite of advancement in therapy of multiple myeloma still remains an incurable disease. Main aim of treatment in multiple myeloma is prolonged progression-free survival. Recent recommendation is 3 induction cycles of lenalidomide, bortezomib, and dexamethasone, followed by cyclophosphamide harvest auto stem cell transplant, and then 2 cycles of lenalidomide, bortezomib, and dexamethasone as consolidation, followed by cycles of lenalidomide maintenance therapy for 1 year. Thank you.